Kilo Alpha 8, Yankee Oscar Romeo.
Yankee Oscar Romeo, roger, and what's the name?
Yankee Oscar Romeo, roger, and what's the name?
Name here is Ed in Ravenna, Ohio. Ed, short for Edward.
Roger, Ed in Ohio, and what radio are you running, Ed?
Roger, Ed in Ohio, and what radio are you running, Ed?
Yes, Jim, I'm running the Yaesu FTDX-10, just recently picked it up. A Meritron 811 amplifier with new 572Bs in it. The antenna's an in-fed dipole, the power in-fed. And the microphone is an old realistic studio microphone. I tried the Heil HM12 and it was so bassy I couldn't even tune it up without, even with the pair of equalizers. So wondering how it's sounding to you, if it needs any adjustment. Over.
Yes, sir, Ed, just a little bit. First off, be sure that you're in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth, roger?
Bandwidth, 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth, roger?
Roger, that's where I'm at. And I am running processing 10% and 40% mic gain.
All right. I was going to ask you about your compressor. It sounds just a little too active. What we're looking for on that compressor is a 3 out of 10 or a 30 out of 100, depending on how your compressor is labeled. Just a third of the capabilities of that compressor, roger?
Compressor is labeled. Just a third of the capabilities of that compressor, roger?
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that. I'm looking at the processor is at 10%. Does that sound like it might need to come down some?
I'll tell you what, sir. Why don't you give me about a 5-second dead key, and let me listen to you for that. Don't say anything, just key dead for about 5 seconds, roger?
For that. Don't say anything, just key dead for about 5 seconds, roger?
Over.
Yes, sir, Dave. Ed, I would pull that back. Are you on a 3? What are you actually on? Are you on a 3?
Back up. Are you on a 3? What are you actually on? Are you on a 3?
Say that again, sir. I missed it.
I'm sorry. Is your compressor on a 3 now?
I'm sorry. Is your compressor on a 3 now?
The processor is on 10. It's on 10.
Is that 10 out of 100 or 10 out of 10?
Is that 10 out of 100 or 10 out of 10?
10 out of 100. 10 out of 100. Over.
Yes, sir. Well, it's okay, provided that you don't stop for long, because it is sucking up a little bit there. I would go to a 2. I usually suggest a 3, but that sounds like it's a particularly active processor, so I would take it back to a 2, roger?
Processor, so I would take it back to a 2, roger?
Roger, there's the 2. I'll give a little pause in my transmission and see if that makes any difference. There is a control called the AMC on this, and it seems to adjust the compression also.
Yes, sir. Well, what I would suggest would be to move downriver from that blower. I can hear that blower suck up. So if you moved away from that blower just a little bit, you would get a better signal-to-noise ratio as far as your voice to background noise is concerned, roger?
Noise ratio as far as your voice to background noise is concerned, roger?
Roger. Let me try this, David. This is the AMC, and it's really, really active. It's at 70. I'm backing it down to about 40. It looks like my ALC is better at this point. Does that make a difference, David?
Yes, sir. It seems to affect your. One of the things, it tends to roll off the bottom end of that audio spectrum a little bit. But all things considered, I think it sounds better when last we left. Just leave it like that, the way you had it just the last transmission, roger?
Leave it like that, the way you had it just the last transmission, roger?
Roger. So right there is not too bad. It's acceptable. Over.
Yes, sir. Once you start speaking, I don't hear it. Between words, I don't hear it at all. So I think that's just ideal, roger?
Between words, I don't hear it at all. So I think that's just ideal, roger?
Roger, appreciate it very much. Thank you much for your time. And I'll let you get on with your day. Thanks again. From KA8YOR.
Yeah, so I've got a tone in somebody's having to tune up on an active frequency, and it's not nice to tune up on an active frequency. Your mother must have taught you that at some point, and you forgot. Well, you know, it is not nice to tune up on an active frequency. So, Ed, I think you're all right there, sir. I was trying to see what kind of situation you were between words, but, you know, I could not do it with the tone. It was playing havoc with the instruments, Roger.
It was playing havoc with the instruments, Roger.
Roger on that. Yeah, I wasn't too sure about using this old dynamic microphone on this radio, but looks like it matched up well, and got it going through one of the Heil adapters for my that I used on my 450 Yaesu. So anyway, gave you a little bit more conversation there. Hopefully the tuner-upper got all tuned up, and maybe they'll figure out that it's better to...
This is an active frequency.
KA8YOR, Ravenna, Ohio.
This is an active frequency.
Roger. Ed had some very inconsiderate folks in there, but I did persuade them that it was an active frequency, so hopefully they will help us along. Anyway, Ed, I think you got it there. And the thing is, I would try to move downriver from that blower a little bit if I could, or move the blower elsewhere a little bit further away from the mic, so it would just improve your signal-to-noise ratio as far as your voice versus the blower. And that's what I would do, try to get a better signal-to-noise ratio and just move the box downriver. I'm assuming that's where the blower is coming from, but it's all right. But if you take a break, I can still hear it. So the options are to either number one, just dump out of the compressor, which is I think even at a 3, a compressor is a very useful device. It does not suck up at a 3, and it does help you maintain a general activity as far as a dynamic range within a certain plateau. And the level set on the ALC is another help on the ALC dynamic range. So, the options are to move further away from the box or not to run the compressor, whichever comes first. Roger?
Or not to run the compressor, whichever comes first. Roger?
Roger. Thank you again.
Yes, sir, Ed73, and we'll be posting this recording up on your YouTube by noon tomorrow, so if you would like to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube, do the call letter search, KC9VKV logbook, that's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook on a YouTube search. We'll take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2,400 Qso-Vlog air check recordings. 73 there, Ed. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog Net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.